Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Okay, let's dive in. In the rapid pace of modern life, anxiety isn't just an occasional feeling, is it? For so many of us, it's this kind of constant humming companion.
It really is. And we're all looking for ways to, turn down that volume.
Exactly. And the stack of sources we dove into this week points directly to something powerful, something accessible, and, completely natural morning meditation.
That's absolutely right. We're embarking on a deep dive today that looks beyond maybe the traditional spiritual side of meditation and really zeroes in on the hard science of timing.
Right. The timing.
Our mission for you today is pretty simple. We're going to synthesize the cutting-edge scientific research and the practical tips, giving you a clear, actionable guide on how adding this practice right at the start of your day can fundamentally change how you manage stress, how it can genuinely melt away anxiety.
And we're going to uncover some surprising physiological shifts happening in your body. It's not just like a nice feeling, it's measurable biological change.
Right.
We'll look at the specific brain mechanisms at play and exactly how you can consistently integrate maybe just 5 or 10 minutes of practice, turning it into a proactive shield against the day's demands.
That's the goal.
Okay, let's unpack this then. First, big question the sources made us ask: why morning? What really happens when we choose to meditate right at the start of the day instead of, say, waiting till the evening when anxiety's already built up?
Yeah, that timing question is crucial, and the research is pretty compelling. From a psychological standpoint, starting your day in stillness significantly cuts down on what researchers call rumination.
Rumination, like that mental washing machine.
Exactly like that. That loop of repetitive, often distressing thoughts about things you maybe can't change that just spins and spins and can spiral into anxiety. By interrupting that mental loop early, you essentially prevent that spin cycle from even starting. And this sets the stage for improved emotional regulation. It means you handle external stresses much more gracefully all day long.
That makes a lot of sense psychologically, setting the mental tone first thing. But I know a common thought, especially for beginners, is, okay, I only have 5 minutes. Is that really enough time to change my body chemistry? Isn't this just a mental trick?
That's a fantastic question, and honestly, the answer is rooted right in the biology of our stress cycle. The research shows morning timing is uniquely effective because it proactively engages with the body's natural rhythm, specifically something called the cortisol awakening response, or CRR.
Cortisol, the main stress hormone, right. But tell us more about the CRR, the awakening response.
Right, so when you wake up, your body naturally releases this pretty significant surge of cortisol. That's the CRR. It's actually helpful. It helps you feel alert, ready to face the day.
Okay.
However, if you're already living with heightened anxiety, this morning surge can feel really overwhelming. It can kick off a stress cascade that lasts for hours.
Okay. So it primes you for stress.
It can, yeah. But what clinical studies consistently show is that regular morning meditation works to actually blunt this initial cortisol peak. By proactively establishing calmness right then, you set a lower stress baseline for your entire day.
So you're not playing catch-up later.
Exactly. You're not trying to recover from stress. You're kind of preventing its intensity right from the get-go.
Okay, so if you manage that surge first thing, you're basically ensuring that later stressors, the traffic jam, the demanding email, they don't push your system over the edge. It really is foundational, isn't it?
It truly is. And if we shift from hormones to the brain itself, we see more proof of this proactive dampening effect. Studies consistently show meditation decreases the reactivity of the amygdala.
The amygdala. The brain's alarm center. We hear that term a lot, but what does decreased reactivity actually feel like for someone struggling with anxiety day to day?
That's a great way to put it. Think of your amygdala as maybe a super sensitive smoke detector. For someone dealing with chronic anxiety, that detector is often set to maximum sensitivity.
Right. Everything feels like a 5-alarm fire.
Precisely. Every time a little bit of toast burns a minor stressor, it sounds this full, piercing alarm, panic flight response. Consistent practice, especially in the morning, seems to gradually turn down that sensitivity dial.
Okay.
So decreased reactivity means when that minor stressor happens, instead of instantly setting off the siren, you register the smoke, you pause, and you respond more thoughtfully. You diminish the intensity of those knee-jerk fear responses right at the source.
Wow. So this means the brain is actually undergoing a structural shift. The sources described it as a fundamental transformation. The brain moves away from being just purely reactive.
Yeah, where stress automatically equals panic.
Right, to a much more reflective and controlled response to whatever life throws at you.
And what's fascinating here, host speaker, is that this shift builds resilience. We even found this really intriguing finding cited by the American Psychological Association. Meditation enhances mental health and vitality even after poor sleep.
Oh, that's huge, because bad sleep often makes anxiety so much worse.
Absolutely. If you're already sleep deprived, your stress tolerance just tanks, right? Meditation acts as this crucial buffer, kind of mitigating the negative fallout from not enough rest, which, as you said, is often a major trigger for anxiety spikes.
And this isn't just theory. We see these results in the personal stories shared in our sources, like Sarah, the marketing executive.
Right.
She didn't just feel less anxious. She reported that by calming her amygdala first thing, she got this significant boost in mental clarity. And that clarity translated directly into better decision-making and, well, far greater resilience when facing those high-pressure deadlines at work.
And similarly, there was John, the college student. His anxiety was all wrapped up in exams and performing well academically.
Yeah, I remember that one.
By implementing a consistent morning routine, he didn't just feel calmer, which is great in itself, but he found his improved focus and sort of reduced internal noise directly led to better study retention and actually higher performance overall.
So these stories really show how that 5 or 10 minutes in the morning truly pays dividends throughout the entire day. It buffers you against things like performance anxiety.
Definitely. The science makes a really compelling case, doesn't it? But okay, the real challenge is implementation. How do we actually make this stick in the chaos of, say, a Monday morning?
That's the million-dollar question.
And the sources are absolutely unanimous on this. Consistency is the non-negotiable key. It's the secret sauce to reaping all those physiological and psychological benefits we've been talking about. You just can't rewire your brain with one section here and there.
Okay, so let's get really practical, actionable steps for you listening. When we talk timing, the sources are explicit. The best slot is early in the morning, ideally right after waking up.
Capture that quiet window.
Yeah, before the emails start pinging or family demands kind of hijack your attention. And remember, the goal here is sustainability. 5 to 10 minutes is a perfect, totally non-intimidative start. You can always increase it gradually later.
And the environment matters too. Now, you don't need some dedicated meditation studio, obviously.
Right.
But creating a quiet space, one free from really obvious distractions, that is crucial. Comfortable seating is non-negotiable. You shouldn't be distracted by a stiff neck or an uncomfortable cushion.
Good point.
The sources also suggest maybe using soothing sensory elements like soft lighting or even calming scents like lavender. These little things can actually reinforce the sense of peace and make the new habit feel more rewarding, more appealing.
That brings up a critical hurdle for beginners, though. I'm trying to focus, right, but my mind is just racing. Or maybe worse, I start nodding off because I'm doing it first thing in the morning. How do the sources suggest we troubleshoot those initial, very common difficulties?
Oh, incredibly common. And yeah, the sources offer several specific fixes. If you find yourself drifting off, that usually suggests your posture might be a bit too relaxed.
Slouching into sleepiness.
Pretty much. So sit upright, maybe slightly away from the back of the chair or wall, just to maintain that sense of wakefulness. Now, if your mind is racing, that's where the style of practice becomes really important.
Okay, speaking of style, there are so many variations out there.
Yeah.
Which practices did the sources note as being most effective specifically for managing anxiety and setting that calm morning baseline?
Two specific styles were really highlighted for their effectiveness, particularly in clinical settings. First, mindfulness meditation.
Mindfulness, okay.
Yeah. If you struggle with that whole idea of clearing your mind, which many people do, mindfulness is kind of perfect because it doesn't ask you to clear anything. Instead, you focus on an anchor, usually your breath, maybe bodily sensations,
Right.
and you just non-judgmentally observe your thoughts, almost like watching clouds passing in the sky. You notice them, but you don't get swept away by them.
Observing thoughts without getting tangled up in them, that sounds like a perfect antidote to that rumination we talked about.
Yeah, it really is.
Mm.
The second highly effective method mentioned is transcendental meditation, or TM. That's a mantra-based approach.
Mantra-based, okay.
But honestly, the sources really encourage you to experiment. For many beginners, guided mindfulness is often the most accessible starting point. You have someone guiding you. But finding a style that truly resonates with you personally is what ensures the practice becomes sustainable long-term.
Right.
If you like repetition and structure, maybe TM is your path.
Makes sense. So moving into the broader application here, this morning, microbreak clearly extends beyond just personal anxiety, right? It feels like a preventative measure for general stress, too.
Absolutely. It reduces that anticipatory workplace anxiety.
Mm.
It promotes mental clarity for complex tasks later in the day. And it offers this crucial reset button before you even, log onto your computer or face the commute.
Yeah.
And what's also fascinating, I think, is the increasing clinical recognition. Meditation isn't really viewed as woo-woo anymore, is it?
Not at all. It feels much more mainstream now.
Exactly. It's acknowledged for its evidence-based outcomes, especially in stress and anxiety reduction. It's often recommended as a complementary practice alongside established therapies for more comprehensive anxiety management.
That's a key point, complementary.
It is. It's a powerful tool, absolutely. But critically, it should never be seen as a replacement for professional guidance or, prescribed medical treatments, if those are needed.
Right. Okay, so for you listening, if you're ready to dive in right now, let's talk tangible resources. The most accessible tools today are probably the meditation apps.
For sure.
We're talking specific examples like Headspace, Calm, and Insight Timer. And these aren't just simple timers. They offer structured courses, guided sessions, often tailored for specific outcomes like stress reduction.
Sleep improvement, focus.
Exactly. Plus, progress tracking, and maybe most importantly, those little reminders that help you stay consistent, especially in those first few weeks when you're building the habit.
And if you find yourself thinking, I just can't focus, my mind wanders instantly, remember, and the sources reinforce this, that wandering is totally natural. It's part of the process.
It's not failure.
Not at all. The moment you realize your mind has wandered, and you gently, without judgment, guide it back to your breath. Anchor your breath. The guide's voice that is the meditation. That's the rep, so to speak.
Okay. The returning is the practice.
Precisely. Use those guided sessions initially to help anchor yourself. Focus intently on the narrator's voice, or really concentrate deeply on the physical sensation of your breath. That anchoring exercise builds concentration over time, honestly, just like strengthening any other muscle.
Okay, let's quickly recap the main takeaways for you. Morning meditation seems to be the most potent time because it tackles anxiety from both angles, psychologically, by immediately reducing that rumination.
That mental chatter.
And physiologically, by proactively lowering that morning cortisol spike and decreasing that amygdala reactivity we talked about. It's super accessible through various apps and online resources, and you can start with a truly achievable time commitment, just 5 or 10 minutes right after you wake up.
Yeah. And we've seen how adopting this simple practice can really transform your whole approach to managing anxiety. It builds a more resilient mental framework and ultimately enhances your focus, your clarity, and just your overall quality of life by setting this calm, balanced tone for the next 16 hours of your day.
So here is a final provocative thought for you to consider as we wrap up. If consistent morning meditation strengthens those neural pathways for calmness and focus, effectively shifting your brain from just reacting to reflecting, even for only 10 minutes, what greater daily challenges, maybe in your work, your relationships, your personal goals, do you feel you might be prepared to face just by claiming that quiet power before the world really wakes up? Go explore that potential.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.